John, wishing you Merry Christmas.
All right. Well, it's that time of year, everybody. It's Christmas and New Year's is right around the corner. And what happens New Year's? We have resolutions that don't stick. And we're going to be talking about how to make your New Year's resolutions work for you so that 2026 is the happiest, healthiest year you've ever had. And we're going to start right after this. Welcome, everybody. This is the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. I'm your co-host, Scott Paton. Joining us, as usual, Martin Pytela, health engineer. How are you doing today, Martin?
Great. I so appreciate your radio announcer voice and style. You just rock.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure, folks, and this is my FM voice. So yeah, life's good.
You know, it's really funny. There's this one guy I follow. He does videos that are between 8 and 10 minutes long, so it's just nice for a quick break. And hi, George. Glad to see that you've joined us again. And anyway, he has like this perfect radio voice, which does not fit his face at all. So I swear that he does something to his voice or he replaces his voice or something, because there's just no way that it sounds like that.
He's got a squeaky voice face, right?
That's right. That's right.
But, you know, I've met guys who say, I have the face that's just perfect for radio.
Yes, I've heard that many times.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting into, it's 2 weeks before Christmas. Well, actually 1 week before Christmas, 2 weeks before the New Year's. And I wanted to talk, we're going to have our Christmas show next week, and we have a very special New Year's show, New Year's, I guess it's New Year's Eve, or not New Year's Day. But anyway, it's pretty special. We do it every year. It's a little bit different, so make sure you tune in for that. But I want to talk a little bit about resolutions and goals and achieving goals. And one of the problems that people have, of course, it's a cliche. It's so funny, right? Everybody says, oh, yeah, don't go to the gym in January. Everybody that does a New Year's resolution goes in January. And by the end of January, they're gone. And it's just the people that are serious about their health. And so I want to talk a little bit about what can we do to create the life that we really want, because I think it's safe to say that people want to be healthy, they want to be happy, they want to have enough money to, you know, put the kids through college and all those, have a house and that sort of thing. But it's a struggle for most people, and I include myself in that. It's like, yeah, it's New Year's resolution, I'm going to do, you know, I make my list, and of course, oftentimes by the end of the following year, the list is not complete. Although I am a big believer in lists, because I have a paper book like this, and I spend time in January writing down the things that I want to accomplish in the year. And I'm always amazed when I check how many of those things I did. I'm also amazed at how many of those things I didn't do. Yeah.
See this book?
Yes.
I am strong. I am vigorous. I am joyful. I am secure. I am grateful. I am healthy. I am happy. I am considerate. I am diplomatic. I am rational. I am rich beyond counting. I'm watching my accounts filled. I'm making the right decisions. I'm steering my business well. I'm finding time for fun. I'm playing music. I'm hiking in nature. I'm enjoying life. I'm happy. I'm in a happy relationship. I am attracting the right people. I am giving and receiving effortlessly. Now, that's my list of commitments of I am, right? If you can get your brain believing it, then it will attract it, right?
Right. It goes a long ways towards making it happen.
Well, I don't know. What did I miss, Scott? Did I miss something in my list?
I would. The only way you can answer that is, what are you unhappy about right now, or want to change, and is it on your list?
Right on.
So,
And some of these things I have totally not achieved. This is my last year's list. It's still valid today,
right.
but I clearly don't have a bank account that's overflowing. So I'm
Well,
missing something there.
one of the things that I often think about are seasons of the, in the year, right? We have this planting season, the tending season, the harvest season, the resting season. And I think sometimes that we may have goals, but it's the wrong season, right? Like, we people will make a decision that's a bad decision 3 years ago, and now all the affirmations in the world aren't going to immediately change the results of that bad decision. So it takes time for, like, if you planted a pear tree but you wanted apples, right? 10 years later, the pear tree is ready to give forth fruit and it's pears. Darn, it's not apples now. Right? So I can't plant an apple tree tomorrow and have apples, generally
Yeah,
speaking,
it's
because
gonna take 12 years. Yeah.
it's going to take 12 years, right? And I think sometimes people, uh, they don't take that into account. Like, as you know, I travel almost the entire year, all different places around the world, and um, and I love it. And so one person who, if they were living my life, might say, well, why weren't you doing this like 20 years ago? 20 years ago was the season of raising my two teenage boys. It was not a season of travel. And I wasn't thinking of travel. I wasn't imagining, oh, I wish I was traveling. I wasn't anything. I was focused on my two sons and trying to be the best dad that I could be. When they grew up and they moved out, the year or two or three before that, it's kind of like, well, they're growing up, they're going to be moving out. What am I going to do? And it's like, well, now it looks like it's the travel season. And the last 8 or 9 years, that's the way it's been. But I think sometimes people get into, I have this goal, even if it's not the wrong even if it is the wrong season, I want to try to achieve this goal, and it's not possible, right? Well,
Right. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
possible, but it's not the right time to do it, which means it won't work out very well, right? Like,
Okay.
my running season was in my teens and 20s. I'm now in my walking season. And if I
Very
want to
good.
run, I'm going to have really, really bad
Yeah.
knees.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Very good. Well put. So, okay. So that's the decisions. So the commitments. I think that there are two voices, one in this ear and one in this ear. And this one says, okay, Martin, it's time to get and pick up the free weights and do some weights. And this voice says, oh, come on, you don't have to today. You can skip it. And this voice says, don't be such a sissy. Get on it. Get with it. And this one says, but you already blah, 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 blah. Right? And I need to listen to the commander, not to the bitch, because I want to have me strong. And this voice will not let me. It will just find a whiny way of weaseling out of it.
yeah, and whichever one you give food to is the one that gets stronger and
Right.
stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's really important about what you just said there was decide, at some point you said, okay, like, I want to work out on some weights, or I want to exercise, or I want to go for a walk, or I want to do these things. And of course, the other part of that is that, well, I want to watch Netflix and a 3-hour movie and eat popcorn, right? So you kind of have that balancing going on. But I don't think when people are younger that they spend enough time really thinking about the long-term consequences of their actions and their activities, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
in, like, we know a mutual friend of ours whose father-in-law is your age, and he's on like 20 different medications. He's got tubes up, everything you can stick a tube up on. his kidneys are failing, his liver is failing, his this is failing, his that is failing. Like, it's just an awful situation.
Yeah.
And yet, you look at you and you look at me, I'm a couple years younger than you, and how many medications are we on from big pharma, right? How
Well, Scott's interesting story. I'm all on all kinds of stuff. It's just that it's not purchased through the pharma. This is a really important distinction. I am doing a lifestyle, but it's not a lifestyle of chemicals. It's a lifestyle of nutrients, and there's a difference.
yes.
And I listened to Gary Brecka a while back. He is a phenomenal guy. Gary spent 20 years in the life insurance business as a researcher evaluating policies, whether they should be approved or not. And he says something really interesting. With each added pharmaceutical intervention that's added to the palette of the applicant's life, he can more accurately predict when he's going to die. Like, for example, he said something like, if you do a hip replacement, it's 6 years plus 1 month or something like that.
Wow.
Now, that's the average, of course, that's the actuarial, but that's the story on it. And he
Right.
said that with each added intervention, it's going to be more accurate, but always on the shorter side. So you're not lengthening your life with these pharmaceutical intervention, you're shortening it. And I'm of the opinion that with adding the nutrient intervention, we're actually stretching it out.
Yeah. And I want to bring up something we've said many, many times, and I believe you said it the first time, was they followed an orangutan or a gorilla through the woods.
It was orangutan.
400 different types of leaves and bugs and whatever that he ate. So
Yeah.
eating a wide variety, right? And of course, if you look at the food in your refrigerator and your pantry, there's not a very wide variety. And that's so that's one thing to think about, getting a variety of different foods in. And the second thing is almost all drugs are a chemical taken from a plant. So they have some plant and go, oh, this does this. That's really cool, right? And then they take something out of it and they say, well, this is the molecule, ignoring all the other hundreds of different things that are in the plant, whether the stem or the leaf or the flower.
Yeah.
And then they make that into a drug. And of course, so we're not saying don't take, plants and stuff like that, because there's all these healing medicinal things that have been around for thousands and thousands of years that, we know help people. And so that's one of the reasons why I love the Exela superfood line, right? Because it's got tens, if not hundreds, of different ingredients that are put in it, and it's put in a way that doesn't kill the enzymes. So it's not cooked food, which kills all the enzymes that the body needs. It's really good living food, and that gives you the variety. So I may have egg with salt and pepper and a bacon and eat nothing the rest of the day. Well, that's like 4 things, right? But,
and then the classic hamburger, which is wheat on top, tomato, onion,
lettuce,
pickle, lettuce, mayonnaise, mustard, bun.
meat.
Oh no, piece of meat, bun.
Yeah. So 7 things, right? Or 8 things.
Yeah.
And so this is why I feel good about it. And also how, what you think makes a difference too, right? So the belief I have that having an Exela in the morning is going to make me healthy helps me. And I'm pretty sure that having an Exela in the morning helps me, right?
Yep.
And if I fall off the wagon and I have a A&W teen burger, which I had when I was a teenager, and I have all these emotional, good dopamine feelings from that burger, and maybe it's not the greatest thing, but
listen, let's not put down the hamburger. The problem is in the details. For example, the wheat should be organic, stone ground, ancient wheat. Instead, we have hybridized dwarf wheat that has been desiccated with glyphosate. That's just practically toxic, right?
And ground so that there's no nutrition.
And ground on steel and
heated up.
right?
The enzymes are dead.
Well, yeah, if it's refined flour, then of course they have taken the wheat germ off of it, right? Here's just a tiny little bit of history. About 300 years ago, the loaf of bread that you had was made with freshly ground on a stone mill flour. They did not separate. The word refined was not invented yet. Did not separate the oily bits from the carbo bits. So the shelf life of that flour was short. You didn't mill the entire year's crop all at once.
You'd mill what you
Harvest the
needed.
grain. You would harvest the grain, keep the grain. The grain keeps well, but the flour needs to be ground fresh. Right?
Yeah,
And then
because
they
the
would,
oils go rancid, and that's not good.
yeah. Yes. Anyway, bah.
So
Stone Age bread.
we'll repeat it. The laws of Martin, we'll call them, right? One is fresh food, no seed oil, no super refined salt, pepper, white stuff, flour, sugar, all that sort of thing, and not super processed.
Yeah.
George says the grains that I consume are full brand endosperm and germ. Good for you.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
And if you can get it stone ground and then kept cold, it lasts quite a long time, especially in a freezer. It will last for many months. So
Well,
I
my
wanted
family
to.
all grew up, and they were all farmers, wheat farmers, right? And they all had grinders. So
Yeah.
when they wanted to, and they would bake their own bread, right? So they'd get a handful of wheat out of the shed, and they'd throw it in the grinder, grind it all up, add a little water and salt, stick it in the oven, and then they had their bread.
Yeah. Or sourdough.
Or sourdough.
That was
like
passed
sourdough.
from generation to generation. But anyway, I wanted to go and roll through a little bit of a routine. I wanted to say, hey, I have made a commitment to full life of variety, right? So I thought, well, let me just bring out what I do and see how that inspires somebody watching this. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. And before you do, I just want to say it's important to set yourself up for success, right? Like if you're going to want to eat better, for example, or you want to exercise more, then you need to figure out, like, what is your schedule? How are you going to do this? Are you a morning person and you like getting up and you're full of energy in the morning and that's when you're going to go for a walk or a run or exercise? Or do you prefer doing it at the end of the day and then you sleep better because your body is pooped out and tired? Like, right. Everybody is different. You have to find your own way, but you have to kind of make your decision as to how you want to do that. And then work at making it into a habit. And sometimes the easiest way to make it into a habit is to get somebody to help you. So, for example, we'll just stick with the exercising. A friend of mine and I, probably almost 20 years ago, walked by a hot yoga studio. And he says to me, "Have you ever been to hot yoga?" I go, "No." "Me neither." "You want to try?" And I said, "Why not?" So he picked me up, and 2 days later, we went to the hot yoga. It was the hardest thing we'd ever done. And he was far more of an athlete than me. And for the next 6 years, I went to hot yoga 3 to 4 times a week, with the exception of summer months that were hot and I was out biking and that sort of stuff. But the only way that happened was my friend picked me up every day or every second day for 3 months. He'd call me up. "I'm on my way, Scott. I don't feel like going." "I'll pick you up in 10 minutes. There was no, "You're not going," right? And of course you felt really good. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
You have some kind of an AI thing going in your camera, because do this thumb up one more time. All right.
I
This
don't
time
know.
it doesn't.
It's
Okay.
really weird.
It's weird. You can't fool it. Anyway, yeah, that's the buddy. That's the accountability companion, where you have something that will pull you out of your laziness or your excuses regardless.
Right. And so if you're the sort of person that needs that, which I am, great. But there are other people I've told that story and say, I do it all myself. I don't need anybody. And I go, great. I wish I was like that. I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
not like that. I
some of
really
us are more the teams players than the individual. Right.
yeah.
The leadership gene is fairly rare. Right. Anyway,
Okay, so let's get to the routine that you've put in
so the
place.
routine is this: you have to have the stuff in the house, and you have to have it in a place. So first thing when I get up, I have my bathroom routine, and at the end of it, I'm looking at a tray, and that tray has in it stuff. And one of the things that are in it is this thing. It's the nanosoma, and this thing has, there's a spray bottle of nanosoma, 5 sprays of that. That's the first thing, and I hold that in my mouth for however long it takes me to change from my night clothes to my day clothes. And then when my day clothes are on, then I'm going to have a hit of this lovely thing called the masterpiece. I take a hit of that. My mouth is empty by then. And then I'm going to take a hit of this humic fulvic. This one is got still the old label. This one is labeled Divine Vine, but I actually have it comes in as Ascension, which is the most divine tasting thing known to man, at least known to me. And it looks something like this. And when it has in it the living crystals, George Merkel living crystal. And anyway, if you are a thyroid dominant, you will probably find this to be as nice a thing as anything you'll ever put in your mouth.
My favorite one is the pineal gland humic
which
acid.
is the same flavor, just different music.
Yeah. It's just divine, like you said.
And so that's the. I have a few other items. I have salt, I have iodine, and I have this humic fulvic mix, and that's my morning routine. And there's a pint of water that it goes into, and I empty that in my first half an hour awake. Right.
So that's good. Like that water hydrates you, and it also helps remove any.
It stimulates the flushing of whatever. Yeah. You want to have at least a pint, possibly 2, early in the day.
And then you have your coffee.
I don't, but okay. My midday affair is the Exula feast. Right. I own a blender. The blender I have is this is the top of it. This is a Vitamix. This is
a good blender.
This is a 48 ounce. This is not the big 96. This is a 48, and I end up filling it up to here with stuff. Some of it is the structured water, but I usually started with a base of blueberry and apple because I'm into that. Not everybody is. Somebody would want to have it with parsley and spinach or whatever. It doesn't matter what the base is, but you want some plant base on it. And then I tell you, so then here's the base. So this one is the lecithin and coenzyme Q10. We call it the ultimate Q10. So this is a bottle of lecithin, and it's spiked with quite a bit of coenzyme Q10. And Q10 is important for your energy. Remember, I showed you the nanosoma. That thing normalizes, optimizes mitochondria. And this thing is the stuff that makes the mitochondria run even better. So especially those of you who are tempted with cholesterol problems and statins and that sort of thing, you're suffering from a deficit of Q10. And then I hit myself with this. And Power Slim is an amazing affair. And it has a couple of things in it that are blocking the desire to eat.
Oh, good.
So I then skip all meals until dinner. So it's if I have that early in the day, I don't eat for 12 hours. If I do it late in the day and dinner comes along, I have to force myself to eat because I don't feel like it. Anyway, but That's actually 197 synergistic ingredients. So as you were talking about the orangutan, there's a lot of stuff going on inside here.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one of the blends that I use. And then I also have a midday. So this one is a Dulce, and this one is Lazarus, and this one is New Liver. So I alternate. One day I have Lazarus, that's for kidneys. New Liver is for liver. I also have the heart. I take that some days, but every day I take this one. And this one is called the Aminos, and this is the amino acid blend, free form aminos. And they are the most amazing thing, because as your body wears and consumes itself, it needs to have the amino acids richly present, or else you start losing your structure, your structural integrity. So that's my story.
So, and amino acids are very, very important for your health. And it's something that we don't get a lot of because we process the amino acids out of most of the foods that we have.
Well, it goes something like this. The amino acids are the building blocks of everything. Shorts, like between, say, 20 and 80 amino acids put together, it's called peptide. And peptides are quite the talk of town in the nutritional and biohacking. And if it's longer, then you could be an enzyme or it could be a protein. And of course, so you start, say, with chicken. So you have a chicken nugget, there's protein of the chicken. That protein has to be digested and taken apart into its individual constituent components, the amino acids, before they can be utilized in the human body. So if your digestive system, if your digestion doesn't work well enough to take it apart, then you're going to be deficient in aminos. So the main point, what is ingested is not necessarily what gets absorbed. Do you take advantage of what you're putting in?
Right.
Yeah, so you mentioned the aminos. People who suffer with aches, pains, and whatevers. For me, it took care of, I had carpal tunnel and plantar fasciitis, mainly caused by the mercury damage or mercury toxicity that I've had. The aminos definitely helped me repair the broken body parts.
Right. And that's something that's really important, right? If you want to have good health, we've all broken down things in our body over the years, and we need to be able to give the body what it needs to repair it.
Yeah.
And as George says, bottom line, we spend dollars on good materials to keep away from the pharma crap. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a really interesting way, right? Like you can pay me now or you can pay me later. And this thing is, so yes, I am spending money on this, no doubt. Right. And I would be spending money on medical care later.
Or now.
But, or perhaps right now. Well, I'm in the age where I would be spending it now.
Yeah, like I'm spending time with my best friend in North Van. We've known each other 45 years, and he's 10 years older than me. And he says, yeah, I got like 12 pills. Some are supplements, like I'm low on iron, so an iron supplement, but most of them are medically prescribed medication.
He probably takes something for the heart and something for the kidneys and something for the bones and whatever, right?
Yep. And he's got 2 operations coming up, one for a hernia and one for a knee.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he's definitely not been someone who's paid very much attention to the stuff we talk about, right?
Yes.
His whole life has been, enjoy the booze and have a good time. And
it's been a good life. And now the price, the bill is due.
The bill is due. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the key, right? Is you really have to think about, like, what do I want to be like when I'm in my 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s? Because when you look at most people in their 90s, there's very few people envying them, right? Like if you're 40 and you're looking at a bunch of 90-year-olds, you're not wanting to be like them, but that's the path that you're on.
Yeah.
The
You know,
bill
the
always comes.
most sobering line I heard lately was, the way you're feeling right now, 25 years from now, you'd give everything you have to feel like the way you felt right this minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh God.
It's a downward spiral. And, so that's not true. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be true.
Yeah.
Right. And so my knees are a great example of that. 4 years ago, I went ziplining and I torqued my knees like something crazy. I thought I was going to be carrying a cane for the rest of my life, but I rested them. I mean, I didn't, I tried not to do things that would cause strain. I took a bunch of, I continued to take the Exla products and enzymes and different things that that you've got in the store, like the Nanosoma and the Masterpiece. And I got it from a 10 down to a 0.5. Now, the problem with 0.5 is when it's 0.5, after a couple of months, 0.5 becomes 10. Like I'm just as irritated at 0.5.
Your tiny little annoyance is annoying.
Very annoying, right? So I continued to work at it, and I would say that they're very, very good. They're not at the point where I would want to go skiing and do a lot of twisting and torquing or anything like that, but because now I know better. But I'm not going ziplining again. Yeah. But I can walk down without feeling, unsteady. Walking up was never a problem. I could go upstairs like no worries. But going down, I think it was because of the way that everything got stretched and moved around.
Yeah.
It was just going down was a real concern. And I was so happy 2 weeks ago in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, because I'm going down this medium slope and I'm striding down it. Like, yeah. Is no problem. So you can get better. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes good coaching, it takes good knowledge, it takes doing the right things. And so many people will tell you the wrong things, which is why it's a really good idea to get a hold of Martin, make an appointment with him and spend some time. But it can get better. It doesn't have to be really, really bad. But I'm the sort of person, I always look at the last generation. Like I look at my mom and my dad, and I look at my grandparents. 2 grandparents made it to 102 and 103. And my mom is 93 in good health. And my dad, he only made it to 85. But dad drank, he loved his whiskey. So he would have a shot every night or two. He loved going out. He didn't love going, he was more introverted, but if he went out, he partied hard. And, he didn't really exercise that much. He didn't really take care. So, I mean, I look at the things that I saw him do and I look at the results, and I don't do those things that I think gave him those bad results. I do the things that I saw the good results with him from, My mom was eating yogurt in the 60s. Like, I mean, I can't believe, before anyone, like, what is yogurt? She'd be eating this awful, awful stuff. And I'd have a taste and I go, but she would do yoga and curl and all, walk and do all these things. And she's living a good life now. So,
Great.
But my point that I wanted to make was look at your parents, right? And are they doing well? Are they doing poor? Grandparents doing well, doing poor? What were they doing, right? My grandparents that didn't live as long as my other grandparents didn't live as long as one set. And when I think back on it, they were eating Cheerios all the time, processed foods and stuff. So
there goes, right?
Yeah. So you have to, look
all
at
right.
it. There's that genetic aspect, right? If you're doing what your parents doing and you expect a different result, not going to happen. Okay, so Martin, what can people do to maintain their resolutions, right? Like oftentimes they feel overwhelmed. Maybe the goals are vague. Maybe they're unsustainable habits. What can we do to build
Well,
that momentum and get people going in the right direction?
I recommend hypnosis. Go find yourself a clinical hypnotherapist and have them install in your subconscious a suggestion that says something like, I stick to my resolutions. The list is this, and I stick to them regardless. And you could be very surprised how well this is. The other thing is you could do something like tapping or some other of the emotion healing techniques that will help you install these positive things and uninstall these negative things that operate in your subconscious, where the actual decisions are made.
And you started off the show, I think, with an excellent example of how to influence your subconscious. You had that list written out, and you had it someplace where you could see it and you would read it. George says, Linus Pauling once said, every disease of the human body is directly attributable to a lack of minerals.
Yes, George, that's true. And of course, so you need to convince yourself of it and then reach for the bottle of the minerals. Humic fulvic are your best friends.
Yeah.
Oh, and look, he's using subliminal CDs.
Yeah.
Another winning strategy.
That's right.
Hey, we need to get Maury's stuff here introduced and talk about that some more.
Yeah, we do. I'll have him join us one week.
All right.
But so there's lots. And again, it's the decision. You talked about those two voices. One voice says there's a 3-hour special, a comedy special on Netflix we should watch tonight. And then the other voice says, spend 20 minutes listening to subliminal CDs that'll help you go in the right direction. Because we do get bombarded with tens, if not hundreds of thousands of marketing messages, like eat Big Macs at McDonald's and go to A&W and pizza and Domino. It just goes on and on and on. So all of a sudden I want a pizza, right? Not really the best thing to have every day.
Scott, if it's on television, if it's advertised on television, I can pretty much guarantee you that it's a high margin, highly profitable product that's detrimental to your health. Pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so first
episode.
and foremost, manage your inner dialogue. Your subconscious will drive the bus. It's like the person that's sitting at the back of the cab telling the driver where they want to go. Now, you are the driver. You're driving the cab, but your subconscious is the guy at the back that says the destination for this fare is. And if you want this destination to be healthy and vigorous, then you need to have the messaging installed in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you ask then what to do. Minerals, water, food.
Yeah, real food.
Yeah.
Uncooked.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is a good place to stop, Martin. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know that it's a busy time of year and lots going on. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate you and love you. And we wish you nothing but the best in the new year. And we're live pretty much every Wednesdays at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. And for the next month, I'm going to be on the Pacific time zone. So that's going to be interesting for me because it's early. So you've been watching or listening to the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. See you next time, everybody. Bye for now.
My body's a temple, but the walls are cracked. Stuck in the rubble of the years I've stacked. Stagnation in my veins like a river to the dust. Toxic whispers in the wind, but I gotta rebuild. I must.